So today's video is about the convention itself. First off, I want to talk about getting to the convention. So there's a couple ways you can go about it. You can drive if you want to. If you do drive, I warn you, parking is ridiculous. Not just is it really busy, but they also kind of jack up the prices a little bit. So parking at the convention center is not fun. You could park somewhere else. You can park at the Gateway, you can park at City Creek, but don't try to park in the convention center. I really don't recommend it. It's a really bad idea. But if you're like me and you don't have a car, or maybe you just don't want to worry about gas money or parking, take public transportation. If you spend any time in Utah, specifically the Salt Lake area, you'll probably know about the Utah transportation. You probably know about UTA. If you don't know, UTA is our public transport system, and it's really great. We've got a really great setup, especially in downtown, where we have the TRAX trains. So one of the stops is Temple Square, which is on the other end of the block from the convention center. The convention center, the block that it's on, has the convention center and Abravanel Hall, and I don't remember what's over on this side. I think it might be more convention center. It's a big building. So, and then across the street is Temple Square, which every Utahn knows Temple Square. But in between that is a track station. So that one will drop you off the closest. You could also get off at the City Central station, which is in the middle of City Creek, which is a little ways to the east. The track trains are free to ride within a certain area, and they come every 15 minutes-ish, depending on the day, and yeah, I think it's every 10 to 15 minutes, about 20, maybe. But yeah, so they come fairly often. They're pretty reliable. They're usually on time. So I definitely recommend checking those out. There's also a bus system, and the buses are pretty reliable as well. So even if you do drive into Salt Lake, parking at the Salt Lake Central station is free, which is really nice. Really, really nice. And then you can just take the Blue Line tracks to Temple Square and walk from there. You'll save a ton of money this way, trust me on this one. If you live further away, like me, you can take Frontrunner, which is a train that runs from Provo in Utah County all the way up to Ogden and back again. And it comes every half an hour on weekdays, every hour on Saturday. It's very, very on time. So I would check out the closest Frontrunner station to your house and see if that's a possibility for you. It is a little more time consuming, but it can definitely be worth it money-wise if you want to save some of your cash for the convention itself to buy art and stuff like that. I definitely recommend looking into the public transport system. The morning of the convention, here's some things you're going to want to do. First off, eat a good breakfast. I'm dead serious on this. Eat something with a lot of protein that's going to keep you going until you can stop for lunch. You may not be able to eat lunch at like a normal time, but you might have a panel then. My go-to convention breakfast is eggs, hash browns, and some sausage or bacon. Lots and lots of protein, very, very filling, so I'm not going to get as hungry until closer to lunchtime. Next thing to do, double check your bag. Triple check it. Quadruple check it. Make sure that you have everything in your bag. Have someone else go over your checklist for you. Like, you do not want to leave things at home. Especially if you live further away and are traveling via public transportation. It's going to be such an inconvenience. You will really regret it. You're going to want to arrive early, depending on your schedule. For example, I wanted to attend a 10 a.m. panel Friday morning last year. I arrived at the convention center around 8:45 to give myself time for bag check security, locating the panel room, and getting a decent spot in line. Many con goers will actually tell you to arrive 2 or 3 hours early, even if you're not going to early panels. But if you've activated your wristband online and don't care about not being the first one on the vendor floor, getting there that early is a little bit ridiculous. All you do is wait in line for a few hours. I suggest a maximum of an hour, hour and a half before the start of your first panel or before the vendor floor opens. whichever comes first. You do what works best for you. Do not You do not have to get there 2-3 hours early. That's just ridiculous. You're losing so much sleep. You're getting up so early. You don't need to do that. You're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna wear yourself into the ground that way. You're gonna send yourself to an early grave. Don't do it. Getting into the convention can be a little bit crazy and even more confusing, but don't worry. There are signs all over the place and volunteers everywhere. Don't be afraid to ask questions if you don't know where to go next. It's their job to help, and they are more than happy to do so, I promise. If you do want to cosplay, double check that you have everything you need for your costume. If something breaks, there are cosplay first aid areas, but it's still best to plan ahead and make sure that you're all set for the entire day. If you're wearing a costume that has impractical shoes, I recommend bringing another pair so you can give your feet a break every now and then, and maybe sitting down as often as possible. The next video will be about the convention itself. After that will be how to survive the post-con depression, because it will hit you, and it will hit you hard.